Hi, this is Rahman Sheikh. Welcome to Fortnightly Railway Transportation Systems podcast. I am the host and railway systems specialist working in this industry for 24 years and counting. This podcast is primarily focused on railway experts who have vast amount of experience and contributed greatly to this amazing industry. This is not a technical seminar but focuses on feel good stories, individual journeys, their success and failures, motivating younger generation to kickstart their career in railways and creating a sense of pride for the railway people who devoted their lives on the most environment friendly public transportation. Our guest for this fortnight is Sunail Husnain, Senior Program Manager at Sydney Trains. Sunail started his professional career in railways in 1994 in Pakistan Railways. He worked as Divisional Executive Engineer to construct, maintain, and operation of one of the 8 railways divisions in Pakistan, as well as Deputy Director, Property and Land, Divisional Personnel Officer, and Executive Engineer Track. Sunail moved to Australia to work as project manager in Queensland Rail and later worked as senior project engineer in Rio Tinto Ansaldo, Perth. In 2015, he moved to Sydney to join Sydney Trains as senior program manager. Sunail has over 30 years of experience of infrastructure delivery management in railways. Sunail is a strong advocate of transit oriented integrated development with customer at the heart and operator friendly infrastructure. Sunail is a chartered professional engineer with fellowship in Engineers Australia and National Engineering Register for Leadership and Civil Engineering. Sunail is a PhD researcher affiliated with Australian National University, working closely with renowned economists of CSIRO, Flinders, ANU, UNESCO. Hi, Sunail. Welcome to Railway Transportation Systems Podcast.
Thank you, Rahman, for having me.
I've been looking to talk with you for quite a long time, Sunil. Apart from the readout I just did your intro, can you please tell me your so far professional transport industry journey?
The journey started, I think, I would say before my birth, because I was is fourth generation that I'm in railways. When I was born, my mom and dad told that my dad was doing remodeling of a railway yard. It was electrification times of 60, where Pakistan Railways was booming with electrical oversupply from the big dams which were created. And then what I recall myself is that I was in a Pedinan yard. He was in my very early childhood, preschool days. I used to see people cutting the sleepers or making notches in the sleeper with dog spike, because the railway store was just next to my house in Pedinan in Nawab Shah. When I further grew in Gojra, there was a trolley which was like a push trolley, if you see. Thela we call in India and Pakistan. That was in our home, which was for emergency, patrolling and everything. And we used to climb on Thela and you do some, joy runs on that one. That was our roller coaster, you can say, in today's day, or treadmill, you can say. Then when I grew up and went to the primary school, I was in Sheikhupura. And I feel clear that at one stage, Sheikhupura was under my control as well after 20, 30 years. And I saw my dad's signature on the registers, because if you know, there are registers which go with FTIR and bridge register, and there are and my dad's signature was just above my signature in few pages away. And that was a pleasure and joy and pride. You cannot explain it. And then in Lahore, I was posted as divisional engineer and also assistant engineer number 3, where my dad has a lot of colleagues and their servants, old servants who used to, cuddle me and take me from one place to another. They were there, and it was a great combination of all family sort of environment, or great grandson of them has just joined. And I tell you, the further putting more spice to the story and the uniqueness, my uncles, one was a driver, one was a station master, one was in the project and design engineer, and they own me and I owe them. One was sparky or electrician, and those are so many stories that one of my uncles applied for a guard, and he was railway guard for a while. So I was connected to all disciplines which are now automated. Rahman, you have automated everything. When I was the divisional personnel officer, my dad gave me a very good advice at that time that, okay, if you stay in this position, you will get a lot of blessings from people and you may get a lot of curse from people. And that will be multiplied by my curse as well, because that is a position where you need to look after the kids of the railway employees. And there were 100,000 employees in Pakistan Railways, and 25,000 were under my regime when I was divisional personnel officer. I think I acted on his advice and I got a lot of blessings from them, from allotment of quarters, to setting the grievances, maintaining relationship with the guys who got accident and appointing their, some of their staff into, or family members into railways, into teaching and or schools and other things. So I think I got a lot of blessings where those carry on. Passionate for me. I really enjoyed.
Wow, what an introduction. It's not just you, a proper railway man. Your whole family is a proper railway family. The railway flows in your blood.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
I really loved listening to you. And when I even read your story and when I went through your profile, I see that you've been in different continents, different departments within railway. So when we compare between these different countries, so I'll come back to different disciplines and departments later. But first, I want to ask a question on different countries. Can you explain us the difference you observe in Pakistan Railways and here in Australian Railways?
Rahman, in Pakistan or India or Bangladesh, and I would own the whole intercontinental railway, like subcontinental railway, which British created from 1858. The first train which was started in 1858 was from Karachi to Kotri in 1861 with steam engines, with the Morse telegraph system and all the poles. And why they stopped at Kotri? Because there was Sindh River, which meant them to stop because there was no bridge over there. But they did massive construction, and that Pakistan Railways was constructed on the basis of strategic or military style. Because when military troops have to move from one part of the subcontinent to another part, that was their military express, which goes fully secure, which carries all their ammunition and, tanks. Even Ravi Bridge, which is designed, is for tank loading as well. And it can run a tank as well, which is 90-ton kind of condition. So those all infrastructure, which was more than 60,000 kilometers, and Pakistan has about 12,000 kilometers of railway track out of that, is part of the greater railway military kind of strategy, which is depicted in the 100 years of Pakistan Railways book. And it was further enhanced by Mr. Iqbal Samad Khan into 150 years story of Pakistan Railways. That is one side of it. Second side is the social side, because India is so big, large, wide, same as Pakistan in a longer dimension, because we have about 15 kilometers of strip from one side to another. To travel from Peshawar to Karachi, masses and for the people who are from low socio-economic background, and they carry a lot of luggage. Even one Samjhota Express, which takes a lot of trunks and chadars and nawadrat from Lahore, and it goes to Nizamuddin Aulia with all the religious and all those festive social connection between people of Sindh. Like there is a connection which goes to Lal Shahbaz Qalandar. There's connection with Six special come here, and now we have Kartarpur corridor. So it was social connection between the multicultural India, and that's where which started communication with a lot of people. If you go to Bahawal Nagar in Pakistan, there is a abundant section, but that was connected to Batinda, and it has big rest houses, it has big waiting rooms, it has big, that side, social side still exists. Indian and Pakistani Railways has 32 carriages. Each carriage carry about 200 people, but people, they are open doors, and people like 300 or 400 people. Some people, if you Dorius Narowal Express, which has people even on the engine sitting, and you have seen that. That is the backbone of travel between for all the masses. And the third main difference is that we have now started the automation, which is like Orange Train. There is a metro coming in Karachi. So we are following the pattern of the urban development. And Karachi and Lahore are like all Australia in one city. The population density and all how we need to move. And we have no choice but to adopt the mass transit strategies for that. So those are the three main things which are backbone of Pakistan Railways. And I really salute my colleagues, my family, and all those who are running within limited resource, within, all all the emergency system they have, like relief train, which has the medical van and the helicopter arrangement through military, is amazing. They act, even in developing country, they act it as a state emergency. When you come to Australian Railway, and further on that one, that is, they haven't seen those innovative or those ideas, and they're a bit naive. They're running like in a utopia as compared to Pakistan. Like kids are, crossing the track. There's no fencing on the track. I've seen, drivers blowing the bell in the level cross. We need to do push trolley or motor trolley. We don't get blocked. We don't have, privilege of having, all those, 4-cab drives, or even though there are few now, but that kind of thing, the quality, the safety, the gangmen who are working on the ground doesn't have even boot. What you say? They just, have limbs and all those fractured or something that happened to them, but they work religiously. Those kind of differences are basic different. And here, mining is very developed. The technology is quite high. The human factor is looked after. Safety is looked after. Quality is looked after. And the possessions or blocks are, very scheduled and very regimented. And there is, I would say that New South Wales is champion in asset management. There is ISO 55,000 implementation. We're talking of digital twins. We're talking of robots who can inspect cars. But that gives us, cutting edge through technology to achieve optimization in terms of, railway journey. And punctuality in New South Wales is very lucky. We don't have level crossings, there are few in Queensland, but congestion on level crossings stop trains. So punctuality, performance, all the good stuff which is achieved in here is they try to do that. The LSPR daily under the divisional superintendent, and they are still, catching up with that.
Well, what a story and what a tale. I really like your answer, Sunail. I think the difference you spoke between Pakistan Railways and Australian Railways, and you even brought Indian Railways in the middle. But I really like those statistics and that work culture you explained. It's quite different, I understand. But these statistics of Pakistan Railways are really good because personally I never knew, and probably the people who are listening as well, this would be the first time they listen something about Pakistan Railways. And now, after your journey with the railway, the two different countries, let's focus on the different disciplines you worked. So you worked in PWay as a civil engineer, and now you're on a delivery side. So from technical, you went to delivery side. How hard was this transition? And tell me, what actions would you take if a project is falling behind schedule or exceeding the project's budget?
I think there are two parts of your question, Rahman.
Yeah.
I'll try to be, simple as possible. But in one sentence, my journey is transformation. I have an adorable staircase of success. The step one, when I did my civil engineering, I thought, okay, I have done a great job. I got honors. I was in the top 10 students. And I thought, oh, wow, I have done a great. But the moment I landed into the next step, when the technology was catching up, there was industrial revolution, then IT boom was in the middle. I was executive engineer track, which provided me a policy dimension that how railway policy or which infrastructure should be, built, which should be, renewed, updated, and all that. I was leading the 6-year plan because it comes on 5-year plans, if you know. So I was leading the closing of 6 5-year plan and then opening of the 7th 5-year plan of track rehabilitation. And that was 11 billion from my memory at that time. And it has a massive overhauling of all the trains from all the tracks from 100 RE to UIC 54 and major changes of the turnouts and providing, from wooden sleeper to the concrete sleeper. So that transformation gave me an opening eye towards economics. So it's not engineering. We are not lucky, or we are born into a generation. We don't have funds to build a Taj Mahal, we don't have funds to build, pyramids. People will love it, but we don't have time, we don't have money. And that ties into you have asked a very clever question, that ties into your budgeting. So that gives me economics side of it. And I was deputed to Ministry of Finance to learn about economics and project, how the projects are prepared and how we can do MS project. And that's where I was really lucky that I got that training. And that opened my eyes that engineering is not enough. I need to be economist to get things across the line. And I was given a project which was Kokra prior to opening to Manabhav, which is connection between India and Pakistan, another one which was closed for the last 41 years. And I realized that, okay, it's economics, but the next tier is politics. Actually, it's political economy. So that political economy blend, then I thought, no, there are Asian tigers who are doing a lot of work in economy and everything. But what they are doing, they're bringing technology in. They are bringing information technology. And that gave me that, okay, we can go to the production frontier. We can have everything, but we need to have technology. And that's where I brought technology into the picture. And I went in for a degree in information technology. And that's where signaling and telecommunication came to my heart. And that's where I transformed to the next level, which is like system engineer, which we did together with the Matrix organization for Rio Tinto for all the, patents and all those things. I further enhanced into project management when I came to Queensland Railways. It was like third track, which was between Kirribilli to Salisbury and electrification. And that's where I was appointed by Chris Flynn, because when in the interview, I told him that what are the defects on this, line and all that. And he was impressed because he worked in Calcutta through Asian Development Bank. And he understood my jargon because I was talking in my Pakistani or Indian railway language, which is like divisional engineer and plateer and, signal S&I and all that, and how they function and how they, if they are out of sync, how they can do it. So coming back to your, second part of the question, which is if it is out of schedule and out of,
exceeding the project's
budget, the answer is all of them. Like I need to look at the technical side. I need to look at the economic side. I need to see where I can create innovation. I need to tie it back to the requirement specification, RETM, and which are essentials. And I need to tie it to the benefit realization. If I'm building Taj Mahal, is just my love? No, it's for the benefit of the customer. That's customer comes at the heart. So that story, ties in. And case of success or transformation of Sunail Hasnain is not stopping. Every day I learn new lesson, and that's how you reform. You get feedback, you do personal reflection, and you reflect with the team. It's not your own ideas or anything. You need to reflect with the team, look at the driver. And because I had a lot of family members from my childhood, and they do whinge about, tracks or other disciplines, and I would like to quote the Jay Shetty and the monks and nuns who come and say that one quote, he say that if there is a tea stall in most of the countries in our India and Pakistan, and on tea stall or in a barber shop, they talk about everything about politics, engineers, doctors, everything. But one thing they forget, if the tea stall person need to focus on his own tea, own cup of tea, he should make excellent cup of tea for his customer. That is his duty. If every other discipline like doctors, engineers, lawyers, whatever, they focus on their own profession and they make their profession to excellent and they add value to their own journey of transformation. They know their self, they know their surrounding, they know the customer they are dealing and how they can improve. That will improve this society. Trust me, Rahman, what everyone will be happy and they will stop, pointing fingers towards us.
What a comprehensive answer, Sunail. You covered lots of stuff and there's lots to take in. Now, I want to move to the technical part because I am a technical person myself. I want to ask one question, especially focusing on your civil job, which is a P-way, permanent way. When we start the project, what do you take into consideration, the first steps in planning a civil construction project?
First of all, we start from the bottom, which is what is the topography? What is the vertical curve requirement? What is the most efficient alignment? And what is the drainage pattern? And what is the hydraulic? With the experience, you can have bullet train, but if you are providing curves which are, more than 3 degrees, it will fail. So rather we start with, some bringing a, vendor driven idea. I will have a Samsung TV. I don't mind. I will have a, electric car. Even I cannot, have a garage or facility in there. Let's develop our project from the constraints. So constraints for a railway is that we should have the stabling yard. Where will be our stabling yards? Where will be our, power generation points? Where will be our all the facilities? How we will get the crew? Getting crew is good from A town or a B town, or is that, people don't have trend of working in railways in this town or that town. So having all those employment statistics or having the ground demography, having the final result that whether customer need it or not. And if that and comparative analysis with other mode of transports. Is that good for a cycling path? Is that a short distance, 5-minute walk? Is that a 10-minute, cycling? Is that bus more convenient? Is that we definitely need 1,000 people carrying from one point to another? Is that timing odd, or is that just one off? So we are building railways, a lumpy, dumpy, a big, heavy investment. Do we need electric train, or do we need, a tram can solve our problem? Or so look at define a problem, define objectives, look at how they will be related to the end game, which is benefit realization, and then start doing the engineering side of it. Most of the people, as I said, the tea maker example, they try to point finger to other disciplines and they try to do what they know.
Yeah.
That's not on. We need to listen to others. Most importantly, to the people who are not in our favor. We need to understand why tunneling could be a better option, or why surface or viaduct or a different mode of transportation. We need to open up, because what I have seen when it goes to planning commission, railway people try to bring railway everywhere. Engineers should give weightage to all those things which are related to the benefits, related to customer at heart, people at heart, and how we are going to make that infrastructure more powerful, more durable.
Yeah, thanks, Sunail. I want to ask more technical question, but looking into my podcast timing, I want to do a rapid round. So answer should be one liner. So can you tell us what's the difference between a 90R 52 kg and 60 kg rails?
Yeah, so it's like a weightage of a railway, 90 or 50 kg, the weightage of railway per yard or per meter. That's like the very, railway jargon. And when we talk of R, it's like a revised template. And if you go to UIC template, they are like used 54 UIC or 60 UIC, and 60 kg rails further come into the blend of, head hardened rails, usually, used on the turnouts or curves or steep curves. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Sunil. Next question. What's the difference between a flathead rail and a bullhead rail?
So bullhead rail, the history is that again someone tried to make sure that the wear and tear should not happen that frequently. So he created a heavy dumbbell on the top, which created it like bullhead, and flathead is the normal profile of railway. So it refers to the profile of a railway track or railway line.
Yeah, beautiful. Why do we need ballast on a railway track?
Yeah, so ballast is like for drainage purpose, and it provides a cushion to the sleepers, and it is transferring the load. Hardcore structural engineering transfers load evenly to a subgrade, and that's where the impact on subgrade is uniform.
Yeah, thank you. So we covered most of the stuff, and now I know that you are a very academic person. You have done PhD. So tell me, what motivated you to do a PhD? Can you explain the field in which you have done your PhD?
I'm affiliated with ANU since 2006, and that was the motivation for me to come to Australia. As I said, my transformational journey or staircase of success didn't stop at economics or project management. I studied policy and law at the Australian National University in 2006 with many of my colleagues from the Civil Service of Pakistan, and then I was offered a PhD in the water resource management. I still think that I need to pause the PhD for a while, but now I have started again, and I'm in the last few years of that completion of that PhD research. I still see that telecom, when I see Industry 4.0 or 5 evolution, which is robots, cobots, and AI, and virtual reality, and all the systems engineering and other stuff, I think the leading sector is still telecom. Automobile and railway are catching up, but agriculture sector, and you and me come from an area where there is a lot of people. Agriculture sector is quite backward and caught behind, and water resource sector is very behind. So I wanted to, when I learned about the policy and talk about development economics, it is all about poverty alleviation and women empowerment. So unless I work with the farmers, unless I work with the water resource management, I cannot change society. And Tony Jackman, I'll quote him, and today is his retirement ceremony. He put a great letter for me for my immigration in 2006. He said one thing to me, and which I just kept with myself, that into close to my heart, that Sunail, if you're doing something and it's not going to benefit the society, please don't do it. So Tony doesn't do research for the purpose of research, not at all. He's done so many people. He was papers. His impact factor is extremely high, and he has mentored a lot of people, including myself. But that thing really mattered, and I want to I realize myself, what I'm doing, is it just research for the sake of research? Am I Ghalib? I'm sitting there outside, Jama Masjid and doing poetry and just to please myself or others. That has a romantic value, no doubt. But what he's saying, if you cannot directly benefit to the society, he worked with the Thailand rice farmer, he worked with the Sri Lankan, water problems. He worked all over China and many other countries. So that really impressed me, and that's where I said, okay, I will definitely work with these guys.
Amazing, very noble cause. And I completely agree with Tony, whatever he said, because I was thinking to myself that you are a railwayman, worked in civil and then delivery. Why PhD in water? What a noble cause. Appreciate that. And I really appreciate your efforts that you're still studying and learning, which there's a proverb says that education should stop at the graveyard, and you actually putting that in practice. Appreciate. Now, Sunail, I want to ask a very different question. You moved different countries, as well as within Australia, you moved many states. So you have worked in 3 states of Australia. Which state has the best practice? Did you opt any of those practices in your current job?
That's a very clever question, Sheikh. What I would say that I'm walking through a garden, and now it's turning into a digital garden through Obsidian. I pick up the best flowers in my book. So every state has its uniqueness, and I really admire. When I went to Queensland Railway, they were doing Yurongpili rail welding facility, and that rail welding was done by Railtech, French company. And I worked for Railtech when I was executive engineer track. I was sent to France for Railtech welding thermit portion units inspection, and I spent some time with them. And to my surprise, those guys were here doing a rail welding plant for Queensland Railways. That welding plant, long welding, 60-meter welding, and then there was a dual gauge, because there is standard gauge and Queensland gauge is like meter gauge. So there is a transshipment area in Acacia. That is a unique thing for Queensland Railways. Another unique thing is that there are turnouts which are dual gauge turnout. That's amazing. That's Robin, and there is a team in PWI Queensland where Rizvi is also working with Robin and team. They are specialists with VAE, and they have developed very special kind of turnouts for that area. So these are two very uniqueness, and then there is a mixed traffic. So there is freight lines and passenger lines together. And another thing which Queensland has, which is twin cities. So Gold Coast is as popular destination as Brisbane, and it's getting more popular. And what they are learning, and I'll come to New South Wales at the end, what they are learning is tunneling experience. So they are very new to tunneling. So they are also learning from other states. They have learned transit-oriented development from Victoria, which is Monash University Station. That is what they used on South Bank Station. So they are open to new ideas. So these are the few features which Queensland Railways definitely have. They are also learning how to earn from retail. New South Wales is very strong in retail. Every station they create like a Hong Kong style with retail is there, because every railway has a challenge how they are going to earn revenue from passenger, because it's a subsidized entity. If you go to WA is another feature which I've seen in very few countries, is that railway line is in the middle of motorways. What a utilization of land. What a clever idea. They have integrated all services together. They have a corridor for services. They have corridor for, emergency services. And they have, even though they have big land, but they try to contain, and they're using like a AC current for the power suppliers. And their uniqueness, second thing, which you and me are part of it, and we're really proud, Guinness Book of World Records has recognized is the effort of Doe and all the big people in Rio, that there is 1,500 kilometers of track, which is automatic train. It's a living robot. So mining industry, from mine to mothership, and every 26 minutes, you're getting 2.5-kilometer long train with 3 locomotives, and all the systems, is automatic. So that kind of thing is uniqueness of WA. And there is Kalgoorlie tracks, there is Heritage track, there are other tracks which are, John Holland are maintaining. So those are country track, train lines are uniqueness of WA. And New South Wales, I would say champion fall, because they are very ahead in technology. Half of Sydney, trust me, is under tunnel. I think more than half is going to be under tunnels. As the time Rosella interchange is not restricted to just, and railway, it's also roads. And New South Wales is open to multimodal, like they give importance to tram, road, and also they are in performance, they are high, and they're bringing new airport, and they are very, future oriented, and they are integrating development, asset management at its prime. So automatic passenger train in Australia, in New South Wales. So I think they will maintain their pioneer. I don't want to repeat, other like marvels which are here. Many people have admired, Sydney Harbour Bridge, Circular Quay, and all those things which happened very early in the mid 18th, but it's still on the track of progress.
Wow, what an amazing journey. You made me travel 3 different states by sitting in my office chair. Great stories, great narrative. I really liked it.
Hope you're enjoying. I really enjoyed every moment of it.
Thank you. Thank Thanks for sharing that. Sunil, before I let you go, can you please give us one piece of advice to our listeners, please?
Yeah, I'll take it just a step back. I would go back to my Taj Mahal and style or master builder style. So I had a wish to go to National College of Arts. That is next to Government College. We were studying at the Government College, and I appeared in the test. And then at that time, the panel interviewed me, and they asked me one question: that you're a high scoring person, you did well in your, but you are going to leave us. And I was saying no. That was like a trick question from psychologists, and they said, and I said, oh no, I won't leave until UET opened, because I was committed to my dad go into civil engineering. I said, no, I will study architect until UET opened. That was last nail in my coffin, and they put me on waiting list, which I didn't get any chance to go in. I asked my father, and I was very friendly with my father, and complained him that because we need to do, and he was a man who can do anything. He was so powerful. He said, okay. And he took me to NCA, and he showed me one thing on the NCA, entrance gate, because Lahore is popular for education gates. And he showed me one thing on the entrance gate that was written in Persian, the Kasbe Kamal Kun ke Azize Jahan Shavi, which means that do every one thing, just take it to the top level. He was always quoting his friend Naseem Hassan Shah and Saeed Hassan Shah, and he was saying, Justice Naseem Hassan, he was his junior in school, is where because of his father, if his father have not put effort in his learning and grooming, and I attribute back to him, if I'm standing somewhere, it is because of my dad, because he showed me that thing. And I said, okay, from day to day, whether I get admission in NCA or not, I will be doing whatever I will be doing. I will be doing to my full of my energy, full of my heart, with everything, because God has put me to that thing to do. And that is, I'll repeat, Kasbe Kamal Kun ke Azize Jahan Shavi. And what I did was, ye bazi ishq ki bazi hai, sab kuch hi laga do, dar kaisa, jo jeet gaye to kya kehna, jo hare bazi mat. So this is from famous poet of form of Faiz. There was Faiz Mela, and Javed Akhtar was there in Lahore. This is my favorite poem I've read, and you need to be in love to read this poem.
Yep, amazing. Thanks for your advice, Sunail. I will take it, and thanks for your time and sharing your insights with us.
Thank you, Rahman, for having me. It's a great thing. I would be keen to interview you because you have done a great thing for everyone. I'm here to get insight from you because you have a very interesting journey within railways, and I would like to explore for myself and for the audience as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for those thoughts. Thank you,
Yep.
Sunail. I believe everyone listening to this podcast has got something to take away from today's discussion. If you like this podcast, please listen, follow, and share this podcast within your network. If you believe we should be sharing your story or someone within your network, there is a railway leader who should be here sharing his or her contribution to this industry, contact me on railway transportation systems at gmail.com. Thank you for your time today. See you next fortnight. Until then, stay safe and take care of yourself.